We're a specialty coffee shop, so it's approaching coffee like a culinary product, a bit like wine or craft beer. And because of what we do, I've been asked by the Observer Tech Monthly to play around with a few gadgets and gizmos and see what I think of them, whether they make nice coffee or undrinkable coffee. Espresso, you could argue, is making coffee on a knife edge. You need to hit everything exactly perfectly. With espresso, it doesn't matter if you buy the best coffee and your water's perfect and you weigh everything and you're very careful about it, unless you invest a lot of money in a high-end piece of equipment. It's a handicap, basically. You're being held back. All the world's highest grade coffees are actually judged as filter coffee, and I'm interested in the flavour of a high-end coffee. That is much more achievable with filter at home. So we've got 3 pieces of equipment in front of us. All of the methods we're looking at today, at their core, are simple. It's just water and coffee. But the processes you go through to achieve the cup of coffee do have a big impact on the way it tastes. So we start with the Aeropress, which is becoming really popular in the specialist field. We even use it in store here. The Aeropress is, I'm yet to see anybody get excited on first sight. It's really a syringe, and it's invented by Aeropress, the company who make frisbees. Basically, we place our coffee in the chamber here, we add our water, turn over and press onto our cup or onto our vessel. So it's quite simple. It's a really versatile coffee maker, so you could make something very strong by using a lot of coffee and a fine grind, like an espresso, or to produce something that's more delicate and elegant, like a filter. So that's a great bit of kit. This is marketed purely as an espresso maker. It's from a company called Rox, and espresso is notoriously difficult to do at home. In commercial shops, you spend thousands of pounds on impressive pieces of kit. And so what's happening is companies are coming up with a few ways to bypass all of that cost and expense and offer us something which is an espresso type drink at home. And this does quite a good job. We have what we call a portafilter. We dispense our coffee into the basket, tamp it down, lock it in. You then add your hot water in the top and raise the 2 handles. The water drops down, and then you press down, and that gives you your pressure to try and mimic espresso. Temperature stability is what you pay a lot for when you buy a really expensive machine. So if you look at this piece of equipment here, we're putting a small amount of liquid in here. There's no cover, it's not sealed, there's lots of cold metal here, and we very quickly lose all of that temperature. If we lose temperature, we can't get all the flavour out of the coffee, so the coffee might taste quite sour. In coffee, there's a huge element of craft and a romanticism of process, and I think this really appeals to that. Something you do directly relates to a reaction, if you like. It's cause and effect. So I think anybody who has those inclinations will get quite excited by this piece of equipment. It does look like a bicycle pump, and on first inspection, this doesn't look like it has the potential to produce espresso. But actually, it's a very clever little bit of kit. The way it works is that you pop this button up, then you can pump up to achieve your pressure, and it holds it there for you. You put your coffee in, your pressure's already ready to go, get your lid back on top, turn it straight over, and literally press the button. That's it. This did surprise me, and I actually thought that the best espresso style coffee I had on the day out of everything we tested was from this one. So the Rox is nice to use. It's a pleasurable thing to use. It is a bit messy at the same time, so it takes up a bit more of your time in the morning. If I had to score these pieces of equipment out of 10, I would give this 6.5 out of 10. The Handpresso, I was quite impressed by. You can use it almost anywhere. It doesn't suffer as badly from the temperature problems that the Rox does. So I'd be happy to give this 8 out of 10. The Aeropress is pretty amazing. The sky's the limit, really. You can, through your interest and proactiveness, achieve something incredible using this piece of equipment. There's nothing holding you back other than your ingredients and yourself. So I give this 9 out of 10. For most consumers buying these products, they wouldn't see them as a real espresso machine. They don't look like the kind of machine you have in a cafe. But I actually think that they produce a better end product than an entry-level full-scale coffee machine, which is 3 times the price.